Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, January 7th. Welcome. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season, Christmas, New Year's, everything in between. This coming week will be our first week back with things being normal. Since the beginning of December, we have been gone to Vegas, and then when we came back, it was right before Christmas and dealing with all of that and all of it. It's been a while since we've had a regular schedule. I'm a creature of habit. I need that. When we were in Vegas, I did not even reach out to McKenna. I'm sorry, McKenna. I haven't even reached out to her. It's been a whirlwind since we got back. So I haven't even reached out to her yet. Dax got sick while we were in Vegas, and I didn't want to go hang out with McKenna and get her sick. I'm pretty sure I got her sick last year, and so I don't want to do it again this year. I think it started because he got dehydrated, because he drinks probably the equivalent to 10 bottles of water a day. And while we were there, he was drinking probably two. And I think he got really dehydrated, and that made it easier for him to get sick. But it is what it is. We spent several days mostly just in the room. I went out to get food and come back and force him to eat and hand him whatever medicine I felt like he needed to take at the time. I don't know if you'll be able to hear. He is outside cleaning this Suburban. He said he was going to vacuum it. We never drive it. It needs to be inspected, so he said that it needed to be vacuumed before he could take it to be inspected. I don't think that's part of the inspection, but whatever. He's been out there for a couple of hours. I saw him cleaning the leather and all of that. But if you hear a noise, a muffled noise coming and going, it's probably him vacuuming. So, anyway, tomorrow night, Addison will be over for her and Dax to watch the game. They were going to try to get tickets since the national championship is going to be played in Houston. But I didn't say no. I made clear that Addison is 34 weeks, 35 weeks, in that range. She's huge. I am certain that when she goes to her appointment this week, that the doctor is going to tell her that she has started dilating. I'm just certain of it. So I didn't want her going there, being around all of those people. I feel like we are probably in the anytime stages. I include we, and that I don't want her having that baby in Houston. So she was, I think, probably complaining about that I said that, and Jacob said, I'm with your mom on this one. So I think that's probably the best option. But she's coming over tomorrow. Her and Dax will watch the game. I find all of that stuff too stressful, so I don't watch it. I check the score every now and then to see how I need to act. I don't want to be in too good a mood if things have gone awry. That's the biggest thing that's going on at our house right now. We did have a good Christmas. I'll show you some of the crafty things that I got for Christmas. And because I tried to post a video last week, I had shown everything that I had done since the week before. That video got corrupted. I don't even know if I said this already, because I've started this one about 12 times. And anyway, the problem is with my phone. I deleted that video, tried to re-upload it, deleted it again. The issues with my phone, and we're recording on something else today. If I already said all of that, I apologize. It is a learning curve for me. But I tried to remember what was in the other video. I'm not sure I have, so there may be things missing. That's all I'm going to say. I did stitch a lot, especially with Dax getting sick while we were there. I stitched a lot. I was at a point where I thought, I'm going to have to get an Uber over to Stitcher's Paradise and buy something new. But sadly, that was not the case. Before we get started, I can tell you about our trip other than Dax getting sick. The first part of the trip, we had fun. We went to see the Van Gogh Immersive exhibit. I've heard really good things about it. I thought it was okay. I hope that doesn't make me a horrible person. It was okay. I guess I'm not that big a fan of his art. I don't know. It was just okay for me. I don't regret going or anything like that. I didn't hate it, but it was okay. We also went to see the Australian Bee Gees, which is basically a tribute band, right? They were really good. I enjoyed that. We did the same kind of thing that we always do. I think we actually did pretty good on the gambling, so I can't complain about that. On our way at the airport here in Austin, after Dax went through the little scanny thing, where you hold your hands up over your head, and then they were like, okay, come on, ma'am. And I went in and they said, okay, come out. And I came out and started to walk off, and the guy's like, whoa, 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 not so fast. You need to step over here. And I turned and looked at the screen, and if there's an area of concern, it blocks it out in green. And if it's big concern, it puts red over the major areas that it's concerned about. In the middle of the green, it puts red. So I turned around and looked at the screen, and why I was having to get patted down is what it boiled down to. It was red, a big red square right over my crotch. Nothing else, just my crotch. I have no idea why. They were very nice. The lady came over and explained what they were going to do. She's like, we can go someplace private. And I'm like, no, you can do it here. I don't care. You're not going to find anything. And I have no idea what the deal was. I make sure, because before, like, having on a shirt that had like little rhinestones or studs or something on it triggered the thing, and I had to get wanded. This time I had to get patted down. And I even made sure nothing fancy on the underwear, no jeans with studs or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know why, but Dax was like, what was that about? And I told him, I said, it's so good, it's dangerous. That's all I'm saying. So there you go. Anyway, that was the only really issue that we had going out there. Things were fine coming back. It was crowded going out and coming back. No surprise. I'm trying to think. We came back like on a Wednesday. We went on Sunday, which, is when everybody and their brother goes. But we came back on a Wednesday, but it was still packed. And right before Christmas even. So, I guess we should get to the stitching. Now look, I did all of this, and then I forgot to take this out of the hoop it's in. Because this is my 25 a day stitch, which I'm doing from, I'm sorry, see, I told you this is going to take some figuring out where the camera is and everything. From Snowflower Diaries. These are free on her blog. And I have January and February finished. I need to get January FFO'd, but I can't find what I bought to FFO it with. It'll be over before I figure it out. So I'm working on March. I'm going to try to do them in order unless they come up differently on my calendar. But last time I had the blue, part of the blue. It wasn't even all of the blue down here. And then just like this part of the border, I think was all that was in there. So I've added on quite a bit. Some of these green leaves, stems and stuff might have been there. But I used this when we went to Houston to celebrate Christmas with our families there. I worked on it in the car for a little bit. But like I said, it's my 25 a day, so I'm working on it there too. We were on our way to Houston. We were about halfway there. We were going to my brother's house first when my brother called because he was sick. So we were like, uh-oh, where do you go now? We just called Dax's mom because that's where we were going later and said, we're coming over early. Several hours early. I thought I'd taken all of these out of the package too. Apparently I've not done that. Hold just a second. Okay. I remembered that I needed something that was behind you, so I didn't want y'all to have to deal with me taking all that out. Anyway, next thing, Homespun Elegance Country Spirits Delivering Floors. And this time I finished the grass and got started on the sheep. That part of the wagon was already there. And for this, the wheels on the wagon are actually buttons. So I think this whole thing, I just have grabbed a bunch of things that I thought looked like what it should. So that may be good, it may be bad. I'm just going to show you this bag because most of my stuff is in Ziploc bags, and this one's in an actual bag. It's one that I made. I did a year of these Raggedy Ann embroidery. Every month you got a different one. So I was going to put them into a little lap quilt, and then there's my fabric for the back. I'm trying to stick with vintage looking fabrics because that's what came in the kits. You did the blocks. This and this I've added on. This right here, all of these, each one came with the little strips. Just got polka dot inside. So anyway, I never did put those into a little quilt, so here they are. This is making everything more difficult because this takes up so much room on my desk. So I don't know where to put everything because usually I stack it up on the desk. God, I didn't take any of these out of the bags. I'm so sorry. See, this is what most of my project bags look like. This was one of my new starts. Redbird Designs. It's called Texas Signs of Spring 2. And that's as far as I got. Although, I was pretty impressed with that. I mean, if we're being honest. This was another new start out of, what is it? Favorite Fingertips. These are all like on the little fingertip towels that have the Ada in them. I started this one. I'm not doing it on a towel. I'm just doing this part on a little, I'll make a 4th of July little pillow or something out of it. I don't have much for my tree for 4th of July, so maybe that's what it'll be. But here's where I got it started. There's white stitching in here, the white stripes. I don't know how easy that is to see for y'all. It's allergy season. My voice is scraggly and cracky and all of that stuff. One of my other new starts from Old Time Kitchen, and I started this one with the coffee grinder in the cup. And I had concerns about this because if you look, see how they kind of look a little distorted except for this one. And I was kind of worried about it. But these are stitched on Huck towels. Yes, Huck towels. And so I have this piece of linen. And as you can see, it's really squared off and all of that good stuff. This is a piece I did something else on. It was a table runner at Target for a couple of bucks. So on the other end of this, I stitched something and it was like this on the end. And I made a project bag out of it. I don't remember what. A moment. This was my New Year New Start. I started this on January 1st. Kirsten was in a thrift store, and my love of Paula Vaughn is no secret to anyone, and so she bought this for me. And I started the January quilt. I'm flipping through here like I don't know January's at the beginning of the year. It looks like this. I love quilts, which is probably why I love Paula Vaughn so much. I love it. And I'm going to try to start one. For the most part, it will be at the beginning of the month, the first of the month, except for May. I will include it where I have a new start on Stitch Mania, but it won't be the first of the month because my first 2 Stitch Mania pieces have been there for freaking ever. So, yeah, I was going to say, I thought I marked where the top of this one is, but they're not going to be giant. This is just 18 count Ada, and this was somewhere near the middle of the pattern, so that's where I started. And I didn't want to quit working on it that day, but people, I have things to do. People in this house want to eat. It's all very exhausting. But y'all have to see this. I've just got to take this and start slowly. That's the list of threads. That's the thread list for all the patterns in here. Now, granted, there's DMC and anchor, so it's just 1 column each. But y'all, that's a lot of thread. That is a lot of floss. I need to just go make a copy of this and start every time I go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I need to have that in my purse and just buy a few more off that list. That is crazy. Okay. I think I really do have all of these out of the bags. It's from a magazine. Seriously. When your magazine starts falling apart, it usually makes it more difficult to find the front. From Cross Stitch and Country Crafts, March, April 1991. Looks like this. and I'm doing these, the animal stack. I told you it's falling apart, but this is how I'm doing it. This was on my list of 20 for last year, but I finished it. I finished it while we were in Vegas. This was the first thing that I worked on when we got there. I took several things because Dax works out, so when he would go work out, he would be gone for hour and a half, and so I would sit and stitch. And I felt like that was kind of a perfect plan. It worked very well. So I got that finished. I was thrilled. Out of November, December 1987, if you're new here, you can see that I like only the most recent of pattern releases. It looks like this on the front. I kind of like that Santa. I worked on this. I did not stitch that. Just this one is all I wanted. This is actually by Crosswing Collection, and she does love lots of different colors to make the subtle changes show up, and back stitching. She is afraid of neither one, confetti nor back stitching. And Shelly, are you watching? I got this finished. I am so excited. I had told Shelly that by not putting that other bird on there, I probably cut 2 years off the time in this. I also worked on this in Vegas. I did not get this one finished in Vegas. When I started, I had the green right in, only in here, I think, and part of the bird's belly down here. But I did get all of the stitching finished in Vegas and some of the back stitching, but there is a lot of back stitching. So it did not get finished in Vegas, but it did get finished before the end of the year. Again, thrilled. Out of Walt Disney Characters Christmas and Counting Cross Stitch, it looks like this. I have started Thumper 3 times. I don't know what my problem is, but I got it finished. I also took this to Vegas. I took the animal stack one because I was so close. I was just like, you know what, if I only stitch on this and I can get it finished, it's worth it. But I took other things that weren't on my calendar, but were small, where I thought, well, maybe if I have time. So anyway, I finally got him finished, and he is adorable. Because I had to start him 3 times, and I don't know why, I'm scared to start any of the others, I'll be honest. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll do other ones or not. So 3 finishes while we were in Vegas. I took Feline Seasons from Val's Stitch and Stuff. I have previously finished spring. I was going to do them all on the one thing, just like that, except for I messed this one up, and I either made it 1 row too long or 1 row too short. And I didn't go, I was almost done when I realized it. So I did not go back and pull anything out. And then I decided I don't want to try to do that to replicate my mistake on all the others. So I cut that one out, sewed it up, made a little pillow. And then I moved on to summer. And I am actually doing these in the fancy floss. You'll be so proud of me. But I finished summer while we were there also. How exciting is that? 4 finishes. And then I took with me also this Lizzie Kate Daughters. It says daughters are special, are a special joy. And I finished it. 5 finishes. Now, this one has a little border around it, but I did not put that on because I'm sure I'll make some kind of pillow or something out of it. And I find it so much more difficult to line things up, to make it look nice, because you really have to get that straight. And I was just being lazy. I told Dax I was going to give this to my mother. I was going to fix it up and give it to my mother just as a reminder so she wouldn't remember what a special joy daughters are. And that was everything I took to Vegas. I was thrilled. I was absolutely thrilled. Like I said, because I was down to the one with the bird and the mistletoe and stuff was the last one I was working on. And I probably could have gotten that finished while we were there, but I was getting tired of sitting in the same spot. So I was just kind of not really doing anything. I think I took time to just sit and scroll on my phone instead of stitching. But like I said, I was starting to think I was going to have to go get an Uber over to Stitcher's Paradise. Sorry, my stuff is... Yeah. My stuff is sliding everywhere. That's the risk when you have these fancy bags like I do. They slide. And then I had on my, because if you're new here, and welcome to new subscribers, I noticed there's been quite a few of you. Tell me why you came here. Because if somebody mentioned me and that's what sent you here, I would really like to thank them. Anyway, I do a calendar and I spin my little decision wheels and it tells me what to stitch on. And it told me to stitch on Cowgirl Country, and it said horse. And Cowgirl Country is part of a set of piece. Right, there's a set. There are a number of patterns. It says it's a division of Little House Needleworks. Well, I saw that horse, and so I thought, okay, I'll stitch on that. It's a horse. So I have all of these on one piece of fabric right now. So I came over here and I stitched on that, the border across the top. And then I realized that that's not what it was talking about at all, because this is not called Cowgirl Country. It's called The Journey. This is Cowgirl Country, and this is a horse. So I had already done some stitching on that, and I was like, okay, well, that's not the right thing. So I put it up, and I came back and worked on this. When I started, I had just this across the top and a little bit down the side. So I brought it down and around as far as that kind of a dark teal thread took me, and then it's hard to see the brown, maybe if I got it closer. And then I just worked on the border, obviously on both of them. So I did not intend to get a little bit of progress on the wrong one, but there we are. Oh my good gravy. Well, where did this one go? Hold please, we're having technical difficulties. Oh, fell on the floor. I worked on Be Mine, and it is from lepointdecroix.com. This one, I just love the old-fashioned Valentine card look of it. And this is where I am. This is just a piece of 18 count Ada that I dyed. I am almost done with the stitching. She has, on the first page that I'm working on, she's that bow in her hair. I'm going to, once I finish the stitching, I'm going to come in and do the back stitching on this page because I don't want to save it until the end at all. But I finally got the brown that I was missing for her hair, which filled in a great portion of her hair and made it easier to find a lot of the other stuff to count off of and all that kind of stuff. From Heaven and Earth Designs, I worked on Cool Waters. This was my birthday start last year, and I've decided that I'm going to work on it on the 6th of the month. I don't want it just, I haven't touched it since last year when I started it. I will not work on it in May because the 6th is, I've already got Mania stuff going on. So, and then there was one other month that I decided no because something else, but here I am up in the top corner. This is a 25 count even weave. I put in between 300 and 400 stitches yesterday, I believe. Yeah. So I was excited to work on that. And I'm excited to work on it every month and get a little bit of progress. I'm up here. I don't know how long it's going to be until I get out of just, that goes really, what I did went really fast because mostly there are 3 or 4 shades of bluish colors in there, but the majority of it is all one. And then the others are just confetti stitches in different colors. This lives in this project bag because, of course, and it's one that I made. I just tried to make it as simple as possible. Basically, I think when I made this, I cut it out and stitched everything together, right sides together, left enough to turn it this way, top stitched it around the edge as I folded it up and put that together. My husband's over there dancing. I don't know what music he's got in his earbuds, but have y'all watched The Proposal? Is that the one with Sandra Bullock? Where is his name Ramon in that one where he's the male stripper? That's what he was doing. It's because we love that movie. I worked on my summer chalk. Oh, there's the chalk drawing. There's the pattern. I'm just doing this on a black Ada. If I had to guess, it's 14 count. I really had high hopes that I had finished the first page, and I have not. I know you can see through that. It's not going to matter. But I have not finished the first page. There's like a little bee that goes, part of him in there. And then I think down here there are more leaves or something. But I did bring it over more, so we have more myrrh. I just love the way the colors pop off of that black, though. And I think this is the last piece that I worked on, which is the Friendship Quilts by Paula Vaughn. And here we are. I had high hopes of being able to get this half finished this year, and last year, and obviously that did not happen. This time when I worked on it, I came and put in more back stitching. Most of that window is done now. What a difference back stitching makes. I mean, seriously, it's just amazing to me. I'm going to come down there and get the last few little bits that go in that quilt. I think I've made it past most of where I messed up. And then, like, stuff that goes in the floor to make the boards is half stitches and back stitches. So it shouldn't be too terrible to get that. Lots of back stitching. And I want to get this half back stitched before I move on to the other half. But I do find the pattern to be absolutely beautiful. I did get a couple of things for Christmas, stitchy related. I showed you the Paula Vaughn quilts piece, and then Addison got me this. They asked me, what do you want? And I said, I have a wish list at 123 Stitch. Go pick something out. And so Addison picked out this one, and she had it kitted up. It's got 28 count lamb's wool jobelin and the flosses that go with it, a couple of fancy ones that are weeks, and then the DMCs. So that one is ready to go, but it will go to the back of my pile because I really do try, for the most part, to start things in order. Sorry, I was looking around because I worked on Ryan's birth announcement, but I don't know where it is. I thought I pulled it out. And then Kirsten also got this one, Legends of Fall by Twin Peak Primitives, yes. And she got the flosses to go with it. So that was pretty exciting. Okay, I got to see if I can find Ryan's. I also took it to Vegas to work on. I'm going to be in a lot of trouble if I've lost it. Oh, I think I see it. It accidentally got buried under the flosses for some of the things that I pulled out. Anyway, this is Ryan's bird sampler. Obviously, I don't have that filled in or this, and I have not charted his name out yet. His last name's not going to be able to fit on there because his middle name is going to be Theodore. So it's Ryan Theodore, and I think that's going to take up more than all my room. So here we are. I worked on this one mostly on the plain, going and coming back. I may have worked on it a little bit in the room, but I think mostly I just used this on the plane. So we have this stuff. I could probably go ahead and put in January because I don't think there's any way he's waiting until February. So, but I need to chart out his name, and probably sooner rather than later. Okay, so I got those other two patterns and everything, and then I also got this Snoopy diamond painting. How cute! How cute is that? I did not realize how many diamond painting things I have around here, and it's a lot, and I need to get to it. Right off the top of my head, that is what I remember that I got for Christmas. Yesterday, I went to the thrift store. On my way to the grocery store, I decided I'd go by the thrift store and picked up a few things for 75 cents. I got this piece of even weave. I was looking to see if it told me a color on here. No, I don't see a color. Mushroom. That's what it says on the back, mushroom. As you can see, for 75 cents. It has a little piece cut out of it, but then there was another piece that was bigger than what was cut out of it that was folded up and stuck in here too. So, 75 cents. I'm thrilled. A whole bunch of beads. This cute little cross stitch. It looks like a kit, but it is just the pattern. But he's adorable. I got a thing for Santa. And this, all beads, for $3. $3. Look at all those beads. That is a ton of beads. And really, I wanted the container that they're in because it will be great for floss. But I'll take all those beads for $3 too. So, to end the year, let's see. I had 28 finishes for the year, which, since 5 of them I didn't expect there at the end of the year when Dax got sick, that's way above what I thought it was going to be. He kept apologizing for getting sick, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm sitting here stitching all day. All I am really responsible for right now is to make sure you take medicine when you need to, that you're drinking plenty of water, and that I go out and get some food and come back. I don't even have to cook it. Sounds like heaven. It was. Except for I don't like him being sick. Don't get the wrong idea. So I had 28 finishes for the year. 10 of those finishes were off my year of whips. Absolutely thrilled about that. But we are getting to, like I said before, where I'm going to have some big things. I don't want to be consolidated with 20 giant things on my year of whips, but I'm afraid we're getting there because we're getting to where all of the older things, my 20 list is simply my 20 oldest whips. And most of them are oldest because they're big. And I ended the year with 150 whips. I'm not upset about that at all. Not at all. It could be 28 more than that. So I have absolutely no complaints. Like I've said before, I feel better when I actually have started the things that I've spent the money on. It makes me feel more justified in having spent the money rather than having them sit around. And from getting the finishes done at the end of the year, I ended the year only, I'm sorry, the sun is shifting and reflecting on me. I ended the year with only $46.57 in the negative. So I didn't think that was so bad. Now, when I went and looked back, since I started doing it just on my own, not in the Stitch from Stash group, because I did horrible in the Stitch from Stash group. Like I ended the 6 months at $100. It was awful. So in 2021 is when I started doing it more on my own, and I just go for the whole year. I don't break it up or anything like that. I'm actually, if I start from 2021 and just roll forward, keep the totals going, I'm $151.92 ahead. So that thrills me. I'm pretty easily impressed, right? I am going to continue a new start every week for 2024 because I do still have that much stash. I am going to try not to buy new patterns. We'll pretend like I didn't just buy this one, okay? It was 50 cents. But this is going to be the third year in a row that I have a new start every week, and some additional ones because of Mania. I don't need to go buy new patterns. What I need is to be buying fabric. So I'm going to try to do that more than buying fabric. I'm not saying I won't. Obviously, I already did. I'm just going to try to be better. I have also decided that from watching Sherry Burkett, she was trying to touch all her whips in 2023. I'm in about October of videos, so I don't know if she was successful or not. I'm terrible about checking Instagram and all of that. But I thought that was a great idea. So this year I'm going to try to touch all my whips. For the first few months of the year, obviously I'm using my calendar. I've already done the spinning for most of the year and all of that. For the first few months, I'm not going to even worry about it. I went and wrote down all 150. And as I touch them, you can see I'm going to highlight them in yellow. And then when we get a little more into the year, because right now I'm touching a lot of things for the first time this year, right? So that's pretty simple. Once we get a little more into the year, I'll start looking where we're at and all of that kind of stuff and trying to plan more to pull things out and all of that. I touched last week. I worked on 6. So I feel like that's good. 7 days, 6 whips. I know that I worked on the Be Mine thing twice last week. She came up for 2 days. So seems reasonable. Seems okay for me. So that is, kind of my plans, really. My word this year is action. Last year it was organize, and I had a lot of great ideas on organizing, and I did some organizing. I did in our bedroom. I've done some at the office. I've got the ideas for out here, but it's created an even bigger mess while I try to work through those ideas. You know how that goes. So this year I decided on action as my word for the year, because instead of just swirling around up here, I need to take action and get some things done. And so far, it's been pretty good. But we're at the beginning of the year, and you know how that goes. Now, I'm going to show you my 20 for this year. And While we were in Vegas, I hit and surpassed. I have stitched every single day for over a year. I try that every year. This past year is the first year that I've actually managed to do it. So I was pretty excited about that. When I had missed one before was from last year in Vegas when I got sick, and I missed it because in a 24-hour period while we were out there and I was sick, I was asleep except for I got up one time to go to the bathroom. The rest of the time I was asleep. So that's, even this year at one point I was sick. I came out here and I was like, I don't know, I might have put in 5 or 10 stitches. I was like, I don't care. I'm not missing this day. If I only come out here and I put in 1 stitch in something, I'm doing it. So anyway, my list of 20 for this year. And I am trying to continue on with the stitching every day. I feel like I should do that, right? There's no reason for me not to. So my 20 for this year, Solitude by Mystic Stitch. I want to work on that. Here is where it is at. I'm sorry, it's still in the hoop. This one, I'm hoping I do this one on Sundays after I do my new start, which my new starts are usually, just one length of floss or something like that. I don't usually get all into them, but here is where we are. I've worked on it a little bit today. I'm hoping to get 3 pages done. This page will take me all the way to the edge, this side of the piece, and I would like to get this page right here and then the one down here. So even at 3 pages a year, I think I looked it up, and it'll still take me another 4 years to finish it, which is why I have the fear of all of the big things catching up. I'm going to work on friendship quilts. It is also the Solitude and friendship quilts are my 2 oldest whips, and I think they're from 2016. None of these are out of the bags. Here, let me pause you and do that. Okay. I didn't get them all out, but we can pause again if we need to. From Mirabilia, Santa's Magic, I think is this one. I don't really know on these what goals I'm going for. This is in the middle. I would love to be able to finish this page, and I know Mirabilias come on a giant page. I took the folded up pattern, made a copy of the middle of it, so this is where we are. I would really like to get this finished. This page. I would really like to get the whole Santa finished, but I'm not delusional. Okay, maybe I am a little bit. From Butternut Road, I have Earth Dancer. I think that's the name of that one. And here's where she is. If I could get like her whole dress finished this year, that would feel like an accomplishment. This, her hand, I did 1/1. I am not looking forward to doing her face that way because obviously it takes 4 times as long. But I'm also not pulling it out. Dimensions on the Half the World has done this one. They've probably started it and finished it since I did, but I really hope I can get this one finished this year. But again, we'll see. I had high hopes of getting the one side finished. in 2023, and that didn't happen. I've still got a lot of these white flowers up here, and this bottle down here is not quite done. But I do love it, and the back stitching just makes these. It just does. So I hope. From Celebrations to Cross Stitch, Christmas 1991. I'm sorry, the front looks like this. I'm doing him the full Santa, but I'm doing him on this darker fabric. It's not as orangey as it comes across. It's a real burgundy color fabric, but I'm almost done up here on the top. I have like a few little ninja stitches and a little bit of back stitching. There is not a ton of back stitching in this, but I do love it on this fabric too. This Dimensions, I call it Black Coffee Pot. I don't know what it's actually called. I don't see a name. Collectibles Still Life, I guess. I don't think this one would be a finish, but here is where we are. I do love it. I love this. It's kind of, to me, feels like Scandinavian folk art. And I like that. From Cows and More Cows, I'm doing the American Gothic. That's where it is. I don't know. I know last year, I spent a lot of time ripping out a bunch of what I had put in. And well, first I tried to just go over it and make it, because I had stitched some of it in one and then some of it in two. And I tried to just go over it and, to make it done in two. And I couldn't tell where I was, and it was horrible. So then I made it even more difficult to pull that out without destroying my fabric. But the other thing is, like here where the shirt is white. Good Lord. I'm not even going to tell you what he's doing with the vacuum cleaner. He's a sick man. Like on their faces and in her dress and on his shirt and stuff, all of that white isn't stitched because it's on white. But I really think for those things, I'm going to put it in. I'm going to do all of that stitching. So I'm making it about twice as much stitching as I need to. But like back here in the clouds and stuff, I don't have a problem with leaving that empty. But for the focal pieces, I really want them done. So can I get that done next year or not? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make it more than it needs to be. There's a good chance the answer is no. This one is a Janlin pattern. I call it the rooster pin. It's called Ruffled Feathers. I call it the rooster pin. On my list of things, that's what it is. Sorry, I'm knocking things down over here. Let me see if I can get this needle minder out of the way. It's a giant needle minder. He's ridiculously big, but I know that's what she said. It's very lightweight, so I don't mind it being there. At the beginning of this year, I just had like, I think over here, I just had like an outline So I got quite a bit done this year. I hope I want to get at least halfway. I mean, granted, on all of these, if I could get them finished, that would be fantastic. If I only touched these 20, I think I could get them finished. But that doesn't go with getting my touching all my whips, right? So anyway, sorry. This is my last carryover from this year. I don't actually know what the name of the pattern is. This is what I call it, Days of Gold. It is out of Cross Stitcher September 2015 magazine. I just have these pages because that's all I got. I got it from somebody who tore their magazine apart. And anyway, hopefully I can get that one finished. I've started it more than once, and I'm doing it 1/1, and I think it's a 28 count gray mist is what it says. And that's a little difficult, so I have to use a magnifier on it. But I'm finally getting the hang of it, so hopefully I can get this one done this year. It lives in a little Snoopy bag that I made. It's just got a white, it's not really, it's kind of a check, but it's kind of like a lattice print. It's from an old sheet, I think. A vintage sheet or pillowcase or something I bought somewhere. So those are the 10 that are carrying over from this year. I mean, from 2023. It'll take me until about August to get used to what year it is. And part of that is because at work, at the office, when we work on tax returns, they're for last year. And when I work on the bookkeeping clients and do their books, they're never in the current month. I'm doing last month's stuff. At least last month. Some of them only show up occasionally with a bunch of stuff, but it makes it hard to keep up with the date. This is also out of Cross Stitcher magazine from September of 2015. I don't know why I make up these names, but I call this one Time for Tea. It says just my cup of tea, but I call it Time for Tea. So if I write just my cup of tea on anything, I wouldn't be able to find it. This is what it looks like. And some of these, like this one, it's made it to the, in my 20 oldest whips without hardly having any work done on it. And that's another reason that I want to touch all my whips this year. So here we are. This book is finished stitching. It needs to be back stitched, and that's this one in the middle right here, I believe. I'm pretty sure that I started in the middle. So the back stitching is going to matter, as you can tell. I think that one is doable to get it finished in the year. The real question is it doable for me, or is it doable for most people? From Imaginating Ink, Be Thankful. This is one that I have a whole lot done, so I hopefully will be able to get it finished this year. I have to finish Thankful, obviously. There's back stitching that needs to happen in the basket, and some of this still needs back stitching. And obviously the vine and berries need to be stitched in, and they're back stitched all the way around. So it's got quite a bit of back stitching. I don't have all that much stitching left to go, but it will require a lot of back stitching, but like I said, I think that one shouldn't be a problem. I know, famous last words. This is Ukrainian ornament. This is what it looks like. It was a free pattern from cross-stitch-patterns.eu. They have quite a few. In this one, it is, that is full coverage. All of that background is stitched. I shall not be doing that. So here is where we started. We're starting the year. I hope I can get this one done. If it gets the attention it should and being in my list of 20, hopefully I can get it done. It's on a white background. I'm not stitching white into that white background. Not gonna happen. I just kind of grabbed colors that looked close to what it had to get that one done. This will not be a finish this year. This is Sue Hillis Designs, America the Beautiful. Dax and I have a goal of visiting all 50 states. We are, I think, 27 states in, but I'm not sure. So, what I am trying to do is stitch all of this. They have the name of the state, but they also have the names of the capitals. I'm not going to stitch the capitals. I will stitch the name of the states. But it gets, especially over here on the East Coast, it gets very busy with all of that stitched in there. And I'm stitching the outlines, but I'm only going to fill in the little things for the states as we've been there. So here's where I'm starting the year. And as you can see, Maine has been stitched in, the little things around Maine, potatoes and the sailboat and the lobster have all been stitched because we've been to Maine. And I think that's a little pine tree. If I remember, this is Vermont. We've not been to Vermont, so it will stay like that. And that's the way I'll go through the whole thing. I know it won't be finished because we have not been to all 50 states. I'm hoping to get the outlines of at least 25 states this year and filling in the ones that we've been to out of the ones that I get outlined. I'm going to fill them in as I go if we've been there. I hope that makes sense. Mill Hill Buttons and Beads. This is called On the Range. And I hope I can get this one finished this year. It's my giant. But here we are. I've worked on it 2 or 3 times. So, again, hopefully it will... look at that horse. Bless his heart. Somebody needs to come feed him. He needs second color of floss. I didn't take these out, and I'm trying to be very quiet. From the Needle Love Company, I'm doing this, the Indian girl. She also does, where you've got the pilgrims. I want to stitch the pilgrim boy to go with the Indian girl. That's what our kids always said. You know, well, Mom, if you're Indian, is Dad a pilgrim? And y'all, I'm like this much Indian, but... Oh. Dang it. But we like to use it to kid around with Dax, and I'm always talking about my people. So here's where I am on her. Some of her is lacking because I am missing a color, and every time I try to go get it, they're out. I'm going to have to replace it with something else. Sorry, I had to bend down and pick that up because there's a needle stuck in it and I would have stepped right on it. It's at my feet. Okay. This came out of a kit, Country Primitive Bookmarks. I got it like on eBay or something. I don't even remember, but I'm working on this one. I've got the threads that it came with, and this is fabric that it came with. I'm not going to make it into a bookmark. I'm probably just going to do, I'll put something and make a little pillow, but here we are. Should be able to finish it. It's another thing where I've only worked on it once or twice, so again, why I want to get everything started. I mean, not started. I do want to get everything started, but that's also why I want to touch all my whips this year, because I don't want them going until they're part of my oldest and they've only been touched the one time. This is a Janlin kit that I bought again on the secondhand market. It came with the pattern and all of the flosses, but not the fabric. I think that's right, or it may have been, I don't think it was started. Anyway, I have my own fabric that I dyed, and this is just that boot that's right in the middle. This one I started and I had something wrong, so I had to pull a bunch out, and so now we're back going again. So you can see I'm up here on this part of the boot. I would like to get it done this year, but we'll see how much that entails. As with everything, I'd like to get it done. And then I have, this one is a stamped cross stitch kit. I don't have that many kits, and I especially don't have that many stamped kits. Because I'm not, even though it's stamped, I really kind of want it to look like a counted cross stitch. I want everything to line up. So I go much slower on them, but here's where it is. And I think I've only worked on it the one time when I started it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really know. I didn't look up how many times I've worked on any of these. And that was it. That's my 20 for this year. I'm hoping that they all work out. I joined a group on Facebook for working on kits. Like I said, I don't have that many kits. But this year for the kids' ornaments, I have these kits. So, I know that's only 3. The other one I've already busted into. I opened it up and pulled everything out. So, it's not, I threw its little bag away. So, anyway, I want, as part of that group, because I know these need to be done this year. So, this is what I have used. I took a picture. I have not posted it into the group, which is why I probably shouldn't be allowed to be in these groups. But I got an invitation and I joined. Trish, the left-handed stitcher, is running that. She's the one who sent me the attachment. She has a ton of kits. She did like a kit parade video on her Flosstube channel, and then she also did one where she selected, where she was showing what she selected to work on this year. So I went sissy. But like I said, I don't usually buy that many kits, so and I couldn't even begin to tell you why. Probably because I don't usually set out to buy anything specific. I get bored and I sit there and I scroll and shop and buy, and that's why I have all of these. That's not the only reason. I have a lot of very generous people who have given me a whole lot of patterns, and I want to make them. I appreciate their kindness, and I don't want that stuff just sitting there waiting. I want it made. I want to be working on it. The very least, I want it started, because then it'll get in there and hopefully get worked on. And I don't like them sitting there waiting, which is also why I don't enter anybody's giveaways on their websites or anything. Also, in my starting things, something new every week, I have a tub over here, and as I buy things, it's just like the patterns the girls got me, with the exception of the Paula Vaughn Yarn Quilts book. They will go to the back of that bucket, because I'm afraid that otherwise I would only be starting new things, and things that I've had for a while that are waiting on me would never get started. So I put them all in this bucket. The newer stuff goes to the back. I pull from the front, and that's what I'm going to start next week. What's the next one? That's what I'm going to start. I really do need to invest in some fabric, because it's required for these starts. But I noticed that because last year a kind viewer, Pat, saw, she knew I love Paula Vaughn, and she saw that there were a lot of them in her LNS, and she went in there and called me and asked me. She told me what they had, and I would look up the picture and tell her yes or no. And so then she took them all up to the front, and the store sent me an invoice and, mailed them all to me. And so I didn't put those all in there together. I kind of just, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one, just stuck them in randomly. And she did all of that just out of the kindness of her heart. And that's just, you people are the best. You really are. And so I have like another one of those coming up. I'm going to bypass it for now, because I've got these quilt ones that I want to start every month. I've already got several. I probably have 4 or 5 Paula Vaughns started already that are big, like my friendship quilts, like this one. I've already got a bunch of these started, and I have a bunch more sitting here. So I'm going to bypass them this year while I'm doing these others. I may get a wild hair and throw one in every now and then. I don't know, but that's my plan for now. Okay, we all know how me and plans go. Anyway, I think that is it. I'm sure it's not. Like I said, I know that there are ones that I forgot. Oh, look, this is sitting right here, and I didn't even... The ortometer. We got it pretty full. Here's 100%. So, I don't know if you can see 75, 100. We're there. I could probably really pack it down and, get it down to here, but I like it like this. That was a good year of stitching. I'll take it. I'll put my little tag on here and for what year it is. I have one more empty bottle. I thought this was my last one, but I found one in the shelf in the cabinet at the office. And then I don't know what I'm going to do after this year. I guess I'm going to have to make a trip to Tennessee, because I need a bottle that has my ortometer gauge on it, and I freaking love this stuff. Obviously, since I have 3 empty bottles. It's a smoked whiskey, but it is not as smoky as some of the scotches like Lafroig. If Dax opens the bottle of Lafroig in the front of the house, you can smell the smoke in it all over the house. It is super smoked, but it's a scotch, so it's still different. This one is not Scotch. It is a smoked whiskey. But it tastes like having a barbecue and drinking whiskey all at the same time. It's the best. Okay, there are lots of other ones I like too. We're not going to lie. But they don't have that one for sale around us anymore. I can't find it around us. I don't know why, but apparently I got to go to Tennessee. It's tough, but somebody's got to do it. The big problem is that won't add to my map. We've been to Tennessee and, the state's getting there and back, so that won't help me. I really think that is all. I am actually working on some FFOs. Yes. And no, really, I am. And hopefully next time I can show you. Okay. I'm working on an FFO. I have some others that I can't find the stuff I bought to finish them with. So that's always the deal. Anyway, thank y'all for coming back time after time. Thank you for your comments, your support, your love. I appreciate it all. Welcome, new people. I would try to say it won't always be like this, but that would be a lie. So it is what it is. All right, everyone. Y'all have a wonderful 2 weeks. I am going to super try to come back every 2 weeks. If it means I have to banish everyone from my home, I hope to get that done. So that's what we're going to say. I will see you in 2 weeks. Thanks, y'all. Bye.